The fire never flickered. He took up competitive bike racing, triathlon, and bought into the ownership side of rodeo bulls.
That's, for me, another way to compete. Well, I have some good bulls right now. Hopefully one can win me a world championship one day, and that's ultimately what I'd like to do, is have a world champion bucking bull.
Behind the net, Fleury has the puck in traffic. Here, Simpson scores!
Goals were never Todd Simpson's specialty. When he signed with the Flames in 1995, he knew his role.
I was a very simple hockey player. I wasn't the best skater, I didn't have the best hands, so I just had to work hard. And, I was a stay-at-home defenseman, physical, move the puck up to the forwards, make the other team pay the price.
Look out. Big collision at center ice. Oh, boy.
Intimidation and just in people's kitchens. I made the other teams play worse, throwing them off their game and just making their best players feel uncomfortable.
Simpson drawing Murray into the retaliation with the little face rub.
My catchphrase was, Todd Simpson, slowing down the fastest game on earth.
This is McAllister and Simpson throwing punches. The Calgary captain came to the defense of his teammate.
Just 2 years in, Todd's character, leadership, and team-first attitude earned him Calgary's captaincy.
It was, a huge honor when I was told I was going to be captain, and you got the respect of your teammates, the respect of your coaches, the respect of management. It was like, yeah, you are a legitimate NHL hockey player.
When Todd retired in 2007, he turned his attention to helping kids find their way.
All right, we're having a huge basketball game. You guys ready? Boys against girls?
Boys versus girls.
Yeah, I'll be on the girls' team.
Oh.
I'm skating for the Y Strong Kids. I've actually been the campaign chair in Kelowna for the last 3 years.
We're gonna do dodgeball later. We're just gonna nail every one of you guys, okay?
We raise money for kids that just can't afford to get into swimming lessons, after-school activities, basically getting them into a good environment where they're doing something active and physical and learning some new skills.
Holy cow, smoke, ah! Oh no, not the head!
And become productive young adults. It's just been a really rewarding experience.
Coming into this whole Battle of the Blades thing, what really frightened me was choreography.
So now putting it to music and to count is the next exercise.
So grab a girl.
Brad over there has 2.
That's great, I don't get picked again? It's just like frickin' junior high.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So if you let her come in and you sort of move with her just a little bit, and what happens is it looks like the girl does all the movement.
I'm literally surprised the smoke wasn't coming out of my ears, because I was system overload, trying so hard to remember all the things they taught me.
This is not easy. Not only do you have to dance, to skate and not trip and break your face while you're doing it.
Certainly it can get very confusing because it's another new thing that most of the players have never had to do.
Ready? 5, 6, 7, and.
Walk in the room, leaving the sun in disgrace.
Oh.
No one can bring me down, makes me wanna say, hey, I don't want this feeling to end. I wanna say,
Starting to get a little more competitive over here.
The thing that kind of scares me is the first performance. I've probably thought of that moment 1,000 times.
When you're out there on the ice all by yourself and you make a mistake, there's only one person to blame, and that would be you.
Be out there in front of people and all eyes are on you. I'll be sweating, definitely.
Here's Green with Samuelson going down. He shoots, he scores!
A #1 draft pick, a freshman all-star. Brian Berard's momentous arrival in the NHL was capped off with Rookie of the Year honors.
I'm a little nervous, I'm sorry about this.
When the '99 Leafs needed help on the blue line, Berard made the move to Toronto.
I kind of explained it to people back home. It's especially in the New York area. It's kind of like playing for the Yankees. The Leafs are it. It was kind of a new start, and you know, I was excited to be part of it.
Berard tried to clear the rebound, and a high stick caught Berard. Boy, he's down. This is going to be a problem.
The night I got injured, I mean, I pretty much remember everything.
As Brian Berard is badly cut on a high stick by Marian Hossa.
I knew I was in trouble. I knew it hit me right in the eye, and that's kind of where I kind of left off.
Gash, quickly, the Leaf defenseman is...
Got into the training room, and I guess anxiety set in a little bit because I knew something was definitely wrong. And then when I started with the eye wash in my eye, I could kind of see everyone else's faces and stuff, and then it kind of really set in. Then I knew that my eye was, you know, pretty much open or cut pretty good.
They've taken Brian to hospital. We'll keep you up to speed as developments warrant.
That night, spent, you know, maybe 6 to 8 hours in surgery. They were discussing either, you know, to take the eye if they couldn't stop the bleeding. My mom basically begged and pleaded them whatever they could do to, you know, try to do what they could.
Berard was airlifted back to Toronto today and remains in a downtown hospital, his parents by his side. The prognosis is bleak.
To be honest, at that time, I thought I was done. I didn't think I'd be able to come back. The doctors said the same. I mean, they thought maybe there was a 5% chance I'd get any vision back in my eye.
After 6 arduous surgeries and a $6 million insurance settlement, he returned the money and defied logic.
It wasn't really much of a decision. I felt I could play. I was still in my early 20s. You know, I really didn't want to do anything else, and the game meant more to me than the money.
Brian dug deeper than most can comprehend, and 2 years after the incident, he returned to the game.
We say welcome back to number 34, Brian Berard.
You know, the things that I could do on the ice before the accident, I had to readjust. It was basically, you know, like day one again playing hockey.
Out to Berard, who's open. He fires, it's just wide.
Playing the game since I've been, you know, 5, 6 years old, I had to let my senses take over and just kind of feel the game.
Berard in, score!
In 2004, the hockey world recognized Brian's astounding journey and gave him the Bill Masterton Trophy for dedication to hockey. His comeback was complete.
I think injuries are always frustrating, but I think, you know, everyone plays sports. We know that's part of the game, and it can happen at any time. So I'm just glad I got to play as long as I did, and especially after the eye injury, to come back, play another 7 seasons. So I wouldn't take it back.
Being drafted in the first round, I think I was probably more shocked than anybody. First round, really? These guys see me play? Oh, are we rolling? We're rolling. Oh, sorry.
The Quebec Nordiques are very proud to select Wade Belak.
He's described as being very raw, but with loads of talent to be sculpted into a career.
I first met Wade in 1994 in Saskatoon. He was my defense partner. We just sort of had a great chemistry, and you know, we were really an effective partnership. Losing Wade, it's a huge loss. I just, you know, I can't make sense of it. I'm still in shock. It hasn't really set in yet.
The Wade Belak that I first was introduced to was a guy that intimidated most hockey players in the National Hockey League.
I think Wade was one of those guys that you know, everybody loved and everybody wanted to have him on their team, and you know, that says a lot about him as a person and his character.
You don't think the players respect Wade Belak? All you have to do is look at the reaction.
I hadn't seen him, you know, in probably a few years, you know, and he hadn't changed a bit.
Pay attention!
Every time I'd fall, I'd hear Wade's little yell and somewhat of a chuckle at me. It was a lot easier having a guy like Wade Belak with you, laughing at yourself. I mean, that's one thing that Wade, he didn't take himself too seriously, and he made everybody else feel comfortable around him.
You gotta wear a helmet or something.
He always had a twinkle in his eye that, you know, it just made you feel good to see him, and he was smiling and just kind of joking around.
His family was one of the first things he talked to me about when we first met, and he was skating for a charity in his daughter's honor because his daughter has Tourette's and he wanted more people to know about it.
honoring him and his family members that he's left behind. I think really we have to do a